It's one earth, one air, one planet. Okay? Now we did start. We started putting on photovoltaics and we started doing things. And then we had a little bit of help from one of our friends, one of our big friends, the Big E. Now, yeah, and it was a good day if you were in the industry. If you weren't in the industry, it was very frustrating because now suddenly your whole life was plunged into darkness. How many of you lost business when the lights went out in 2007? Raise your hands. I mean, people would be phoning your company, the phone would still ring, but the switchboard wasn't working. Right? The company lost billions and billions. And guess what happened? So if you look at the dilemma, and this is just some history, a lot of people always wonder, oh, you know, Eskom sucks and Eskom is rubbish. But the truth is it wasn't 100% their fault. When we had the affirmative action that came on board, we had a middle class that exploded faster than any country in the world. The middle class grew by 86% in 3 years. Now, when a middle class grows like that, what happens is you start having a mass migration of people wanting to move into better homes, you know, more luxury and so forth. Because if you're living, you know, if you have 10 people sharing one house, and then suddenly you can afford to have your own home, guess what that means? That's 10 times more electricity that's getting consumed. 10 times more items that people are pursuing. People want more luxury, they want a better lifestyle, they're looking for better items, and everything, you need electricity to make it. So when an economy starts to grow, electricity consumption obviously increases and the load on the grid happens. And obviously Eskom, poor planning. I mean, let's face it, they haven't collected money from the municipalities, they haven't collected money from all over the place, and they're in trouble. There's no doubt. And they're scrambling. It's like the duck in the pond. You know, on the top, the duck looks fantastic, but on the bottom, the feet are going going crazy, trying to keep the composure. But if you see the duck, it looks great. And that's what Eskom is right now. Now some people say, oh, I hate Eskom. No, don't hate Eskom. Use that debilitation, use that challenge to make a new business out of it. And that's really what we're going to talk about today. So they were slow on the uptake, the power stations, billions of problems. Obviously they are looking to seek greener solutions, but Eskom is way behind the rest of the world, way behind. Okay? And obviously load shedding, and you all know about load shedding. I'm hoping that my video is going to work, but I saw this yesterday. I was sitting, working late at night, and I saw this clip. So I hope it works because I embedded it the same way as I did the other one. So let's see.
So I was the holiday.
Oh, sensational. The beaches, the sunshine, the women.
標識になんかヒッポクロッシングって書いてあるな。いやいやこれ作ったやつや。私は違うよ。
Tu vois les babouins? Ils rentrent dans les maisons. Saccagent tout.
Maar ik zou je zeggen, ze houden van vuurtjes te stoken.
Chop en door. Chop en door. Chop en door.
ये देखना, ये जो है ना, उसके अंदर पानी भरते हैं, उसी को लेके ना वो लोग मैच देखने जाते हैं रग्बी का.
Jacuzzi. Called a jacuzzi वहाँ पे.
Zły takie lepisze, ograjene z wysokimi zudami.
Notre les oulais.
C'est bien ça, oui, pour moi, c'est je savais ça.
They even have a name for it.
What? Load shedding. Load shedding.
Load shedding.
Shedding.
God, I could shed a little load.
16 people in here.
That's right.
And they call it a mini taxi.
That's not even the half of it, mate. We've got these things.
Yeah.
Car guards.
Car guards.
Car guards. Watch your car. Make sure it's still there when you get back.
Mate, that's amazing. I'm getting one.
I love that. We are unique, there's no doubt about it. You know, when you travel overseas and you tell a guy just stop with a robot and then they look at you all funny. Like, what? Stop with the what? I lived in New Zealand for 2 years. I was in New Zealand in 1995 when South Africa won the Rugby World Cup. And no one spoke to me for 3 months. It was literally, people would phone me and I'd say, hello, Andrew speaking, and you just hear click. Hello? Hello? Those sorry losers, those Kiwis. So, Eskom, obviously scrambling to balance the energy table right now is a mess, as you know. Increased tariffs. How many of you are enjoying the price increases? Raise your hands. Huh? I was telling my wife the other day, I said, I can't believe it, my electricity bill is like $2,000 a month. It's just her and I. $2,000 a month. Now I've got gas stove, I've got solar water heating, and I'm saying, you know what, screw it, I'm going to go PV, put PV up, I don't care. Now, I'm probably not going to go completely off the grid, but it's in my mind. Now 5 years ago I wasn't thinking that. How many of you are already off the grid? Raise your hands. Completely. Now I did a seminar in Bloemfontein. The guy said, no, I'm still on the grill. I still do the booty on the grill. So I said, no, the grid, not the grill. Eskom prices are going up, and guess what that does? Guess what that does? It means that people will start looking for alternative energy solutions. Because when you start feeling it in your pocket, you'll start looking. You see, before you're sick, you don't go to the doctor. Before you get high blood pressure, you don't get your blood pressure checked. Before your teeth are fraught, you don't go to the dentist. We tend to have the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff syndrome. Jump off the cliff, get in the ambulance. It's the same with alternative energy. Right? We only act when we have to act. And Eskom has made it easier and easier for us. And let me tell you, I spoke to a guy that owns an alternative energy business, and he said to me, I'm loving the free advertising. It's amazing. Okay? So they're unable to collect. They're way behind the world. And obviously, they just recently scrapped the DSM project, which was the subsidization of solar water heating. So before, they would give you a bit of a subsidy and pay you some money. Though they scrapped that recently. Why? Poor financial planning. They can't handle it anymore. Right? So I love it, and I love the saying, the best time to make money. I saw this in, Rhett Butler said this in Gone with the Wind. He said the best time to make money in the destruction of a country. Another good time is in the upbuilding of a country. Fastest in the destruction of a country. Now, some people say South Africa is not destruction, but you know what? I'm in the water industry, and the water, how many of you drink tap water and love it? Hardly anyone. You know that bottled water is more expensive than petrol? Bottled water is more expensive than petrol. You pay 6 rand for 500 mils. You're paying 12 rand for a litre of water. It's insane. And some guys, their houses are filled up with bottled water. A few years ago, would you have done that? So every time the government, and I don't want to say it in a bad way, but every time someone messes up, there's a new opportunity for new business, which is amazing. And I built all my businesses based on that. I mean, education, because education is not good. I mean, alternative energy, because alternative energy is not there. And water. So when you see an opportunity, so I jump on opportunities whenever someone messes up. So obviously with this, creates a whole platform for entrepreneurs. And we're hoping we have some keen entrepreneurs tonight that are saying, you know what, I actually do want to jump on board and become more a part of this. Okay, so what's the opportunity? Number one, we can find solutions, right? For energy-thirsty population base, we're completely dependent on oil and electricity. We can't live without it. Our lives have been built around it. Number two, create affordable options that suit that particular market space. And number three is obviously to become a number one brand. So if I had to ask you the question, oh yes, I saw this morning as well. I'm on YouTube, and I saw this Fortune magazine clip on YouTube. And here's our boy, Elon Musk, living in America, you know, SpaceX. Who of you don't know who Elon Musk is? You all know who he is, right? You know who he is? You know when you eat those sweets, there's the Musk sweet. He's the guy that created the Musk sweets. Yes, it's bullshit. So this Oki is the founder of PayPal. You know, he founded PayPal. He's an international guy. And obviously Tesla Motors in America, SpaceX programs. He's the guy that Google said when we die one day, or we want to give away billions of our money, we're going to give it to Elon Musk, because we feel like he's the only one that's sticking his neck out and doing crazy things to save the world. And when I read that, I was like, what? Larry Page from Google. So he says that, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but they've taken the alternative energy battery, that whole world, they've taken it so seriously. And he says that their companies, their Nevada Gigafactory could dedicate all of its production to the home of these products. In a later statement, he said, we basically sold out in the middle of the year with all their products. And their orders, look at this, orders running at 38,000 pre-orders. Crazy, off the hook. And that is for a battery in your house.
It's a sexy battery.
It's a very sexy battery, there's no doubt about that. But we'll get there. As Ellies said, you know, we did an interview inside there, and the question posed to him was that South Africa seems to be a little bit behind the rest of the world, and blah, 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 and he gave the perfect answer. He said, you know, it doesn't matter how far behind we are, because we can catch up, because we can just use their technology. We can buy their technology and we can do it. Right? That's vision, right? That's vision. So Tesla, I mean, these guys are spending billions, putting in alternative energy solutions. And, you know, I have some guy, my one next door neighbor, he says to me, no, I don't think that this whole solar thing is going to pan out. I think it's going to stop. It's the same as a guy saying, I don't think the internet is going to continue. I think that's going to stop. There are people that actually believe the internet will stop because they don't think it works so lekker. So alternative energy, solar energy is here to stay. Okay, whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. It's here to stay. And the big guys are all jumping on board. And that's why I'm involved in it. That's why I love it. Okay? So a lot of people say the opportunity is over, it's already saturated. We haven't even started yet. We're not even near the beginning. Remember when we had load shedding in 2007? You couldn't get a generator. There was no stock. They were sold out. Inverters was the same. They flooded the market. And I read an interesting stat. It said that before load shedding started in 2007, we had 162 providers or people that sell generators in South Africa. At the end of load shedding in May the next year, we had 2,900 people selling generators in South Africa. Now that means that when load shedding stopped, what happened to all those generators? They were sitting in a container down in Durban State, Durban docks, with a guy saying, I don't want to pay for it because I'm going to get stuck with him. Okay? That's what happened then. Unfortunately, unscrupulous business owners came in and charged crazy prices for these things, and they hurt the market a lot and created a lot of distrust. So when inverters are presented to the marketplace, a lot of people go, I don't know if I want that. But the truth is they need it, right? Inverters was no different. So very few people have made the upgrade. Very few people have changed. And one thing that did happen is there was no real brand after that whole load shedding the last time around, even this time. So if I were to ask you, I mean, you probably recognize some of these buckies up here because you guys look like double cab kind of people. You know, so if I were to say to you, what is the best double cab on the market, what would you tell me? What? Mazda. What did you say? Ford Ranger. Who thinks that a Hilux is the best bucky you can buy? How many of you would like to get into a fist fight over that with me? Okay. Now that is something that is a cultural thing, right? How many of you know the dog advert with that smiling dog in the Toyota adverts? When he goes, remember that ad? Right? We have been seeing Toyota Hilux adverts forever, and we know the product. We know, if I say what bucky, you know. But if I say to you which inverter or generator or solar panel is the best one, the average public do not know at all. They go, yeah, solar. They don't really know. Right? Now we have an opportunity to mingle with a company that actually has credibility, that has a track record, that is trusted, that has a brand. Now 37 years of building a brand, right? It takes forever to get a brand recognition, to get brand awareness, and then you get this company that comes along. I don't know how many of you have been down to the building down the road, the green building that Ellies have. When I walked in there, I was like, you know, a kid in a candy shop, walking around, looking at all the stuff going, wow, I had no idea that Ellies was so green, right? So green. So the second pillar that I'm going to talk about is the Ellies Holdings Group and the green focus that they've had and what they've built. And I mean, you see their trucks. And what's weird is that I've never seen this truck on the road. I've never seen it, but when I was down at their warehouse, I saw the truck and I'm going, holy moly, look at this. They've got a truck with green pictures on it. We don't always know how green they are. And I don't mean that in a green they are kind of way. I'm talking about green in business. So you know their products already, LEDs. I mean, I was having a chat with Sean earlier and he was saying to me, the problem in our marketplace right now is education. When you go into a store and you buy an LED, you don't know which is a good one and you don't know which is a bad one. You have no idea, right? Because we've just been thrust into this space. We don't know.